One of the more fun experiences of my life to do it opposite a guy like Tom Cruise. It was a singular experience. I for one was very glad that I didn't have to put my body through what the young guys did, and gals.
Everyone ready. Maverick to range control. Stand by. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Well, congratulations. So I wanted to ask, 1986, Top Gun comes out. What were you guys doing at the time?
Watching it.
Yeah, we were there.
Did you feel the need for speed after you watched it?
Oh, yes. And talked about it days and days and days following.
Yeah, I couldn't drive yet, so my need for speed was a 10 speed, but it was still very much a topic of conversation in my friend group for sure, and remains to this day. I'm on a text thread with a bunch of friends of mine from high school, and they are very much living vicariously through me right now, having gone through this, and they're all very excited to now take their children to go see this version of it. So
The fighter pilots in this, Tom Cruise, they actually go up in fighter jets, and I saw the behind the scenes, and I was freaked out. I thought, oh my God. So for you guys, were you jealous, or you're glad you kind of skipped that?
I mean, look, I think obviously those guys getting to not only train the way they train, but to get through the training, right? Because there's no guarantee that they're going to make it through that training and be able to continue. That's actually the real peril. The armed forces require a certain level before you can really be in the cockpit. But our guys came through with flying colors, and we're proud of them, of our castmates. And it really shows on screen when you watch the movie. You really get that, you know, when a plane is launched off the deck, you kind of watch folks kind of go back in their seat like, holy crap. So certainly I think we're all professionals. We're really proud of those guys. We're really impressed at how they came through, but we also had to do our jobs. You know, we had to make sure that when we came to set, we really brought it. I mean, that's so true, especially, you know, for John, who, you know, is an antagonist in the movie. You know, he's got to be really ready, you know, to meet Tom at that level. And, you know, I was really fortunate in getting to watch all that because I got to see some great acting.
Yeah, John, you kind of play the by the book kind of guy. You know,
well, someone's got to be the boss, right? Someone has to be responsible. It's only 5,000 sailors and 84 aircraft and billions of dollars of material. But yeah, so I think that, you know, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. But it's I got to tell you, it's one of the more fun experiences of my life to do it opposite a guy like Tom Cruise. It was a singular experience. I for one was very glad that I didn't have to put my body through what the young guys did, and gals, because that I know how difficult that is and the commitment that takes. But I was very happy to do my particular part in this and leave the heavy lifting and the heavy G forces to the younger crowd.
And Charles, I love your character because you're sort of you're in the middle. You're kind of by the book and you're behind John's character going, you know, let's go. So I kind of like that about your character. What did you like about your character? Yeah, behind your back. So what did you like about your character? And also, are you glad you didn't have to go up in the air and fly those G's?
Well, it's a mixture. I'm a little jealous and a little relieved that I didn't have to go up for the G's. My role, I love the high wire act I have of maintaining my military posture and the chain of command because I am an admiral, but also knowing who Maverick is and trying to kind of translate his behavior for my senior over here, my boss, my air boss rather. And so that was great. That was a great exercise, trying to find that balance between the two.
Okay, and watching the movie, not as actors in the movie, but as fans, come on, those dogfights, I mean, they were like 100% better than the original because the technology is there now where you can actually shoot in cockpits and go up in the air.
Well, and also the fact that they were willing to take the risk. It's an ambitious choice to be able to do that. I mean, obviously we live in a world where you could render that on a computer if you really wanted to, but the visceral nature of it being real and the stakes when it's real and you feel it and you can see it and you can see the G forces pushing the actors' faces into different shapes and the blood rising in their face and everything. So true to, actually, it's a love letter to aviation in a lot of ways too, because it's so true to what the actual experience of flying one of these peak performance pieces of machinery at such a high level, what these guys and women of the naval aviators actually go through. It's impressive.
For you,
Another
Charles?
thing about the aerial combat scenes that I found impressive is I, as a movie fan, sometimes have trouble with on-screen chaos. And even though they're trying to tell a story, there is chaos in the air, but it's so clearly told. It's so clear what's happening, even within the chaos. That was one of the things I love about the aerial scenes.
And for you, Bashir, watching those dogfights as a fan?
You know, interestingly enough, it is in its way a kind of throwback. You know, I love films. When you watch Buster Keaton movies and you see him standing on this spot and then a whole ass wall of a barn falls, and if he is 1/2 an inch in the wrong direction, he's a dead man. But he falls and it falls right over where he is. Now, obviously, what we're doing is that times 1,000, but it comes from the same place. It comes from the actor and from the filmmaker saying, I want to make a bold choice here because I want to give the audience something special. And there's one thing that I found from Tom, you know, in talking to him and working with him, he really cares deeply and passionately about the audience experience. He respects the fact that people work hard and they're giving their hard-earned money to come and watch this movie. So what are we going to give them? We want to give them everything we can. And I think this movie fulfills that promise.
And it's so interesting to watch. I watched it as a teen on the big screen and I felt the need for speed, but I never thought I wanted to be a pilot. But then after I watched this, maybe because I'm seeing a woman in the cockpit, I was like, damn, I wish I was younger. You know, what is the experience like seeing like more diverse faces, and especially for young girls?
What I like about it is that it authentically imitates reality. When we got the great, pleasure of shooting, with active duty sailors, right? These are people actually doing their jobs while we're running around shooting. There's great diversity. I remember that I was doing some of my pre-work because I had to learn about what it meant to be a warrant officer before I did my part. And there was a building I was in, and there were all these photographs of all these different pilots through the years. And it was so nice to watch as the faces got more diverse, to watch as more folks got a chance to really embrace and enjoy every part of a military experience, from being a fighter pilot or maybe just being, an enlisted person. So I'm happy that we were able to capture that authenticity in this movie.
Pretty well said. It is nice. It's nice of you to like actually identify with that too, because I think it will reach a whole different generation, a new generation, obviously, but a wildly, as you say, more diverse, but a wider swath of not only American public but the global public to understand what this is and to be able to sort of vicariously travel through these characters.
And I would add that goes into Tom's relationship with the Navy. The first Top Gun movie solidified his relationship because they feel like he let the world know the things they wanted the world to know about that branch of the military. And this time around, he does the same thing. And since they trust him so much, we're able to do the aerial scenes the way we are, with real planes, real mountains and sky, real pilots, and real actors in the back seat. No one else would be able to do that because no one has forged that relationship. And that's what makes Tom Cruise so amazing to work with, and this film so amazing to work on, is that you feel as close to being in this branch of the service as you possibly can without actually doing it in life. It's amazing.
All right. Okay, really quick. One word, describe Tom Cruise.
The dopeness.
Loyal.
Icon.